Welcome to Yoga for Beginners, and this will be a Vinyasa Flow style, but it will be a beginner Vinyasa Flow. So you'll need a blanket, most likely. If you don't have a blanket handy, a pillow works. Anything that will give you a little height for your hips, because they'll be better aligned that way. You'll be able to sit a little taller. You also might want a block, but you don't have to have a block. Often just a big book will do the trick. Okay. So let's start in a comfortable seated position, whatever that means for you. So for some people, cross legs isn't comfortable at all. You could even stretch your legs forward, for instance, or get yourself up higher on a blanket. But make it comfortable for you, because we'll be seated for just about a minute here. So any cross-legged seat will do. Let's make our spine very tall. And we'll take our shoulders and shrug them up by our ears, taking an inhale as we do that. And then exhale, draw your shoulders down. We'll keep up that motion, taking inhales to lift your shoulders up, and exhales to soften them down. Keep it up, shoulders shrug up, let tension accumulate. And then exhale down and back to release. Now keep moving at the pace of your breathing. And already what we're doing is really vinyasa, because vinyasa means the linking of breath and movement. So it's almost like we could lose ourselves to that combination of breathing and moving. So we needn't inhabit our heads anymore. We don't have to worry about what's going to happen next. We don't have to worry about anything that's happened until now, because we're totally absorbed in the present moment as it is. And the present moment is good. So now let's add a heart opening to it. Inhale your shoulders up, but think about lifting and broadening your heart as you draw your shoulders down. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale your shoulders up, lift your heart, and then broaden it as you exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Broaden as you exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, broaden. And then we'll release our arms, release our hands. Let's take the right hand to the low part of the belly. I'm just going to use that to push the belly backward. We're engaging now what's called belly lock, Uddiyana Bandha. So if the locks are new to you, and if breathing throughout the practice is new to you, honestly, just forget about it if it becomes a distraction. But if it feels like something you can comfortably incorporate it, then incorporate it. But we won't get lost in the details. So if we can, we'll draw the navel back, just establishing a firmness in the area of your belly. It's actually just below your navel. You can even start establishing a firmness in what's called the root lock, or Mula Bandha, which is situated at the pelvic floor or the perineum. So a way to engage the root lock is try this. Take a giant exhale, and at the very bottom of it, push out a little more, squeeze, and tense up at the pelvic floor. Then keep that tension there as you inhale, let your chest lift. And we'll try that again. Exhale, the belly draws back. The very bottom of the exhale, squeeze out a little more, engage your pelvic floor. Keep that firmness as you inhale now, right to the chest, lift your heart. And keep moving in that way. Exhale, tense up the belly, tense up the root. Keep a little tension there as you lift and soften at the heart. So keep this up on your own. So there is a little bit of firmness, a little bit of tension. In yoga we call that sthira. But it's always balanced by peace, calm, and ease as well. That's the sukha part of our practice. Always aiming for a balance between sthira and sukha. Let's continue to add on. We'll find our Ujjayi breath and then we'll get moving. Ujjayi breath is yogic breath. You'll see it in nearly every class you take. And it means triumphant or powerful breath. You can think of yourself as triumphing over the mind. But it's a breath in and out of the nostrils, only if that's comfortable and possible. We're engaging the bandhas, particularly the belly lock on exhales. We get this swelling sense at the heart as we lift the chest in our glorious inhales. And there's one more element. I want to add a little bit of friction or turbulence, they call it, at the back of the throat. So it's as though you're closing off your glottis, or I like to describe a whisper at the back of the throat. So you actually make noise on both the exhales and the inhales. And at first it will feel more possible in the exhales. But you'll get it on your inhales as well. The reason for our Ujjayi breath, and we can keep it up at your own pace, is that we're generating an internal heat. So we're warming ourselves from the inside out, and in that way we're preventing injury. It's another little benefit of the Ujjayi breath, which is that it's a sounding breath. So if you can hear your breath throughout the practice, then chances are you're not holding your breath. And when we're holding our breath is when we're most often headed toward injury. So it's just a reminder that the breath is there and it's important throughout the practice. Let's keep breathing together about 10-15 more seconds, a few rounds of in and out. Allow the breath to have both a calming and energizing effect on you. Another 2 full cycles of in and out. It's a slow, conscientious breath. One more in and out. And now let's join our hands at the heart center. So in the Vinyasa practice, it's common that you'll set an intention before you begin the asana series, the posture part of your practice. So let's set an intention together today of aiming to achieve one of yoga's many goals. And this goal is to be alike in pleasure and in pain. The yogi aims to be at peace, no matter what the external circumstances he or she faces. And can we draw from our inner strength, our inner calm? Let's bow the chin toward the fingers. And then we'll lift our heads and sweep our arms all the way up and around, palms touching at the top. And hands slide into your heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, sweep your arms up, watch your palms as they touch. And then exhale your hands through your heart. And now we'll drop the right fingers to the right, sweeping the left arm up and across to the right side. And as you do this, we try to stay heavy through the left sitting bone. And now even just the act of an inhale lengthens you. You can feel your side ribs as they stretch apart. Take another exhale to go deep. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, the left fingers touch down to the ground. And then we'll lean over to the left, keeping the right seat heavy. Now even just the act of inhaling will lengthen your whole right side body. And we'll allow the exhales to take us a little deeper in. So always aim for just at least a degree of comfort in your yoga poses. If you're experiencing straight up discomfort or straight up pain, you've gone too far. There's never a need for that. We can progress in small increments, and that's better. Let's inhale ourselves all the way up. Exhale the hands right through the chest. And then one more thing on the seat. Let's interlace our fingers behind the back body. Lift your chest. Inhale. And then exhale, tip forward. Let your knuckles fly up high. 2 big breaths. And your shapes never matter. It never is going to matter what you look like on the mat. We will never get caught up in that. Let's sweep our arms up. And exhale the hands to the heart. Good. And we'll take our hands forward and then help ourselves onto all fours. So in all fours, we'll make sure our hands are underneath our shoulders with the fingers spread wide, and the knees are underneath our hips. Let's find cat-cow because it feels so nice. It's a great way to open your spine. We'll arch here, sending the sitting bones up, and the gaze up. You can drop your heart and send your shoulders back. Big inhale. And then exhale to tuck your tail, tuck your chin, draw your navel up, round your spine, and empty yourself of breath. And then move fluidly, inhaling to arch, and exhaling to empty for cat. 2 more, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. And then take a neutral spine. We'll swing the right heel out to the side about 45 degrees. So we can rock over onto the right knee and the right hand, extending the left foot behind us. And we'll line the foot up about with the knee. And then we'll lift this left arm high to the sky. The left foot stays grounded to assist us at first. Broaden through the chest. And if you can, take your gaze right up to this left thumb. Breathe as softly and in as satisfying a way as you can. The gaze point is called your drishti. The yoga is full of drishti points, and it's just yet another way to calm your mind, always aiming to be alike in pleasure and pain. Now let's add on a little bit, lifting this left leg parallel to the earth. Keep it as locked and strong as you possibly can. Keep energy even into your foot. This is preparation for half moon pose. Let's take another in and out breath. And then drop the foot and send both hands down. We'll come back to all fours and take one more cat-cow in between here. Cow first, inhale to arch. Exhale to empty. Neutral spine. We'll swing the left foot over to the side. I'll rock onto my left hand, left knee. Face my back towards you. Take the right foot in line with the left knee. And then look up towards your right thumb. Soft, full breaths. About 2 more of them. And then if you can, we'll add on, lifting this right leg as high as your hip if you can. Continue to look up and get a lot of energy through the leg, so we're straightening it out quite a lot. Even the foot feels alive. Find your drishti and get a couple soft breaths. And if you're wobbling, that's a good thing. We're building strength and building muscle memory, so this becomes easier and easier every time you do it. I don't care how old you are. And then we'll roll down. One last cow-cat. Inhale to arch. And exhale to empty. Take our neutral spine, and now we get to tuck our toes underneath. Start to lift your hips up into the air, and we'll find downward facing dog here. Walking our hands toward the top of the mat and our feet toward the back of the mat. It's really important that we spread our fingers really very wide. Use every single finger because that's going to help you conserve wrist energy there. Then we'll have our feet hips width apart. And now our heels are approaching the ground. In yoga, they never have to touch the ground. They never have to touch at all. But they're sort of yearning for the ground. We'll make sure there's no tension in the sides of the neck, so we can even shake the head out a little bit. And as best you can, keep your arms really long and strong. Now let's take a couple more breaths at downward facing dog. If this is very difficult for you, you can always bend your knees quite a lot. You can even take your knees to the mat and give yourself rest. But just have faith that downward facing dog becomes easier. It really does. And after a while, you start to crave downward facing dog. For now, let's soften our knees quite a lot, and we'll drag our hands toward our feet. So we're at the back of the mat now. And now we can dangle for forward fold, taking hold of our elbows. This is called ragdoll. You can move your legs towards straight, go for it, but it's perfectly good to have a soft bend there. Now we can hang heavily this way, or we can sway a little bit left and right. Now let's drop our arms, soften the knees and round the spine. We're going to start to roll all the way up to stand. The very last thing that's coming up will be our heads. And stack the head right atop your spine, and we'll take a walk to the top of the mat. Preparing for Surya Namaskara A, or Sun Salutation A. Let's start with our feet hips width. If your back never experiences trouble, you can actually take your toe mounds together. We'll take the hands into our hearts, and we'll find our firmness at our feet, even in our legs. We can try to lift the kneecaps up in their place. Feel a drawing down of your tailbone and a drawing in and up at your belly. Always lifting high through the heart, drawing the shoulders back. And we'll get just enough of a tuck through the chin to find length at the spine. So we'll take a breath in and out. This is mountain pose with prayer hands. Now we'll keep our stable core as we lift our arms up overhead, offering the heart up. On an exhale, we'll swan dive down for forward fold. You can always bend your knees. On the inhale, we'll look forward, and we can take our hands to our shins, or if you can reach, the floor. Exhale, palm the floor, and step your right foot to the back of the mat. Hips are low and heart is high. Now right away, if you have blocks handy or books, you can assist yourself. Take a block on either side of your foot and lift your heart higher if you need to, but you might not need to at all. And here we're warming our legs. Try to get them pretty far apart. Take up a lot of space. Left foot at the top, right foot at the back. Then we'll palm the ground and step right back to downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Push the floor away hard, like you're making your own arms longer. You're sending your hips up higher and higher. Keep some energy between your arms, so they should be squeezing toward each other. And at the same time, at your upper back, try to widen it. Now we'll soften our knees, walk our hands all the way to the back of the mat, and then roll slowly up. And the last thing up is the head. And then we'll take a walk to the top of the mat. And getting the hang of it now, we'll set right up in Tadasana, or mountain pose, hands at our hearts. And on the inhale, we'll sweep our arms all the way up. Exhale, dive down for forward fold. Inhale, hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale, palm the floor, and take a giant step back with your left foot, sinking your hips low and shifting your heart as high as you can. This will look different for everybody, and that's perfectly good. That's how it should be. So be where you're at. We should be challenging our comfort, but not entering the zone of straight up discomfort. So if you're uncomfortable, find a way to make yourself comfortable. Tearing our legs away from each other, finding length in them. Let's take another inhale here. And then palm the ground, step back to downward facing dog. Now this is a Vinyasa Flow class, so I'm going to teach you a flow. You might skip it in the future or not. Let's wave forward toward plank pose, and then right away we'll drop our knees. We're going chest, chin, but you want your heart forward a little bit, so we're going to drop the chest. Look, my hips stay high. It takes a lot of arm strength to do that. And then I'm going to snake forward, drop my knees, and lift my heart. This is Bhujangasana, or crow pose. Let's take a few breaths here. I'm lifting my heart. My toes are untucked. My legs are heavy on the mat. Even my hips are heavy. I can test myself by lifting my palms up off the ground, and now using just my muscles to lift my heart. Let's drop the hands and drop the head. Shift the hips back to our heels. This is child's pose. Let the head go. Heavy. And this is the perfect pose to come into whenever any class feels too challenging to you or any posture feels too challenging. There's no shame in child's pose ever. Enjoy it. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to all fours. Reach our hands to the top and find our downward facing dog. I want to do a couple more things with you. Soften your knees, walk your hands toward the back. Now we're going to take yogi toe lock. The first two fingers around your big toes. It's like you're slicing between your big toe and your second toe. Grip there and then stretch your chest forward. A little softness in the knees is perfect, but eventually you do move towards straight legs. Exhale, fold yourself down and draw your shoulders up as you move your elbows wide, assuming they're slack. Okay. If you're here, that's perfectly good too. So we'll be where we're at. And send breath to the muscles that need it. The muscles want to lengthen for us. And we just have to give them a chance to do that. 2 more nice, long, slow breaths. And then soften your knees. Roll all the way up to stand. And step to the top of your mat. I'll demo this facing you. Take our feet hips width apart. And shift weight to your right foot. Swing the left knee wide to the side. And slide the heel to the inner ankle there. Taking hands into your heart. This is the beginning of tree pose. If you need to, you can come close to a wall and get some stability. If you feel really comfortable here, take your foot up onto your calf. You still feel good, you can take your foot up into your thigh, but just don't press on the inner edge of that right knee. Okay? So we'll ground down to this leg, try to make the whole body taller. Use your navel to make that happen. And then hands into your heart. Find a focal point. And this is why it's Vinyasa. We're stilling the mind. The portals to a still mind are our breath and our drishti. Get ready for this challenge. We're going to take the left knee in and then take a giant step back, all the way to the back of the mat, setting the back heel down and stretching our arms up. So we found Warrior One pose, or Virabhadrasana 1. It's a lunge. There's a lot of work in it. The arms stretch high. Now you aim to square your hips forward. So often it's difficult to pull the left hip as far forward as it should be, but that's okay. The intention is there. So ground through your legs, trust their strength. But then get buoyant through your heart. Try to lift up even higher. Let's take one more big breath in. And then exhale, open wide for warrior two. Now the arms have come to a T, the legs stayed in a lunge, but the pelvis opened to the side. So if you have to resituate your feet, go for it. Your gaze is out past your right fingers. We're standing tall. There's a tendency to lean forward, so aim not to do that. We'll sit up tall. Breathe lightly for 2 more breaths. Now let's straighten our right leg. We're moving toward Trikonasana, triangle pose. So first we'll reach forward, and then we'll reach down, the right hand touching this right shin, the left arm stretching high. And this is a perfect triangle pose, but if you have your block handy or a book, you can place it to the right of your right foot or ankle, just behind your calf really. And maybe you can reach down that far, stretching the left arm up. Now there is plenty to think about in Trikonasana pose. One is that you want your head to hover right above your right foot. So often that will mean leaning back a little more. Another is that you want to roll your left hip behind you, sort of tucking your right hip underneath you. Just feel the hip opening that's possible. And then finally, you draw your belly back so you can make your spine as long as it can be out to the crown of your head. And we'll expand in every direction we possibly can and try to get soft and maybe even a little joyful for a breath or so here. Now we'll come all the way back up toward warrior two. Just pause briefly and then swing your arms down and around to frame your foot. Palming the ground now, you can either step to downward facing dog or flow through that vinyasa we did before, and I'll walk you through that. That's plank position, inhale. Exhale, drop your knees, your chest, your chin. Inhale, slide forward however you have to for a cobra, inhaling. And then exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll soften our knees, walk our hands back. Roll all the way up to stand. And then walk to the top of the mat, preparing for tree pose on this side now. Starting with your feet hips width, shift weight to your left foot and swing your right knee wide. Right away, stand as tall as you can. Slide your heel to your ankle or your calf or your thigh. Use a wall if it helps. Hands into your chest. Draw your tail down and your navel back to lift your whole body taller. And then find your focal point. And we'll use our combination of breathing and focus to still chatter in the mental space. And we find the sweetness of existence right here. Get ready for the challenge. Roll your right knee forward. Take your giant step backward for warrior one pose, setting the back heel down. And you can align yourself about hips width, so left foot sort of toward the left, right foot sort of toward the right. That's going to be maximum stability for you. But if it feels comfortable, go heel to heel, or maybe even heel to arch. We'll stretch the arms up high. And we'll challenge ourselves. It's a lunge, so there's work in it. The legs are working hard. We'll tuck the tail. Let the right hip yearn forward. We'll get buoyant through the heart, lifting it up on inhales. You can imagine it's full of helium. And it's taking pressure off of your legs. Get another big breath in, reach tall. And then exhale, open out for warrior two. And then again, in this one, your hips open wide. The chest lifts tall and the gaze is out past the left fingers now. Breath, drishti, a calm mind, sweetness of existence. It's all right here in Virabhadrasana 2. Another breath in and out. And then we'll straighten the left leg, reach forward, maybe get your block ready. Left hand to your shin, block, or below if you can reach, but that's not the goal of Trikonasana. Right arm stretches high. Make sure your head hovers above your left foot. Draw your right hip back as far as you can. Look up and tuck the left hip underneath you. Get free and long in every direction, but maintain your powerful core. Now often I'll see people trying to go as low as they can in Trikonasana, but that closes off their hip and they lose the pose. So don't be afraid to lift up high, get some lift through your chest. We'll take another full breath in it. Stand all the way up to warrior two, just find it. And then spin your arms around and down to palm the floor and choose either Vinyasa Flow or downward facing dog. So I'm going to step right to plank. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, chin. Cobra pose on my inhale. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Now I'm going to drop the knees and send my hips behind, my legs forward. We'll get a couple seated poses before we finish here. So we'll find Dandasana first. Come forward of your sitting bones. Now if you know your hamstrings are tight or you're already feeling like you're rounding here, definitely get up on a blanket or a pillow, because it'll pull the stretch out of your low back, which wouldn't be good for you. We'll sit up, flex our feet. Keep the toe mounds touching, even if the heels are apart, because that changes everything. Add your arms. And then fold as far forward as you can. It doesn't matter where you get. Just trying to find the right stretch for your body. So you can inhale, your spine longer. And then exhale, go deeper. And this gets easier every time you do it. And then we'll sit all the way up. Let's come off of that blanket. Join the soles of our feet together. We're headed toward the finish line. Let's take our feet together, we'll keep our knees wide. So you might be up here, you might be flat on the floor. Doesn't really matter. We'll sit up tall, start to tilt forward. And then after a while, let everything loose. Let your head go. Your elbows can even assist your knees here. We'll take about 3 breaths. This pose is about figuring out how to let go. We hold a lot of tension at the inner thigh and the hip area. Some of it's useful for our own protection. Some of it's unneeded. Can we breathe what's unneeded away? And then roll up to sit. We'll scoop our knees together. And now we'll separate the feet hips width apart. You might grab your block or book. A pillow could work for this one as well. I'm going to lie all the way back. Plant the feet close to the hips. And now we're going to do supported bridge pose. So we'll send the heels down into the ground and lift the hips up, placing the block or the book right underneath your sacrum, that sort of flat part of your low back. It should feel like really good support. You can tuck your tail a couple times to make sure you've got it on the right spot. We'll flip our palms to face up. This is extremely stabilizing for the lower back. Now, if you can, relax here for a half minute or so. If you're craving more sweat and more challenge, you can always press your heels down and see if you can just hover above the block for a few breaths. Or more. And take the pose that feels right. Let's just enjoy it here. And even close your eyes and breathe. I'll lift up off the block and move it aside. We'll hug our knees into the chest, squeeze good and tight. And now help your knees over to the left. We'll draw the arms wide, palms can face down, both shoulder blades are down. And you can hover a little above the ground. Or you can let yourself go. Maybe you reach the ground, maybe you don't. We're going for a soft twist. If you'd like to go deeper, take your left hand and place it on the outside of your right knee to encourage it down. Let go of any control of the breath we had now. Just breathe naturally. We know the practice is coming to a close. And take our knees back up to center. And then drape them over to the right. You can open your arms and hover there. Maybe you feel comfortable enough letting go. Let your knees fall to the right. You could even help them down with your right hand. Let's keep the left shoulder heavy. Continuing the softness here. Allow your muscles to be heavy. Come back up through center. Take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. See if you can take hold near your ankles, anywhere you can, maybe your feet even, maybe your shins. Lift your head and chest, and then lie all the way back. We'll stretch out our limbs. Now, if you have a lot of discomfort in your lower back, I highly recommend a pillow or a blanket underneath your knees. But if your back is comfortable, that won't be necessary. You can even have something as big as a bolster. Lift your knees quite high. Let our arms be about 6-8 inches away from the body with the palms facing up. We'll make ourselves as symmetrical and comfortable as we can. And then with eyes closed, we find Savasana or corpse pose. And one last chance to soften our thought waves. Allow your eyeballs to sink in their sockets. Allow your tongue to rest heavily. Your shoulders grow heavy and soft. Your pelvis grows heavy and soft. Your ankles and your feet heavy and soft. And now we rest. We have about 1 full minute here to absorb the practice. Some say this is the most important pose in the practice, so don't skip it. Enjoy it. Then we'll return to deeper breaths. Introducing small movements like in the fingers and toes. You can rock your head from side to side. Slide our arms up overhead and join our feet together, flexing and pointing as we stretch in both directions. And we'll hug the knees right into the chest. Rock over to your right side to feel fetal position. And then use your hands to help you back up to sit in a comfortable pose. Hands at your heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. May your yoga journey be a long and blissful one. Namaste.